Hi, if this is your first look at electrolysis, I'd go back and look at the other electrolysis one, the first one about half equations, because that's pointing out what exactly is happening, whereas this is the next step on it. It's not a repeat, so I would go back. Now this one is about electrolysis of solutions. We talked in the last one about electrolysis of molten things that have just melted. These ones are dissolved in water as well. So in this one here, we've got a solution of sodium chloride and water. These are the ions that come out of the sodium chloride. We've got a sodium plus and a chlorine minus. And from the water, we've got these ions, a hydrogen plus and a hydroxide minus. You wouldn't expect that. You'd think you'd have oxygen and hydrogen. So you just got to remember that no. In these cases, when you've got solutions, you get the salt separating nicely like this, but the water separates like that. So if we look at this picture here, we've got our beaker of what would be salt water really, because it's got our sodium ions here, sodium ions here, our chlorine ions, our hydrogen ions and our OH minus ions, all whizzing around here, all free to move about, so they can conduct electricity. We've got our electrodes in the same way as we had them before, and here, remember those electrons that are whizzing around the system go up here, up the positive one, back down the negative one here. Okay. Now, if we were trying to predict what was going to happen, we've got a positive electrode, so we could say, right, we'll shove the OH minuses on there, we'll shove the chlorines on there, and then that's positive and that's positive. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. In fact, in the there's a fight that goes on here. Only one is allowed out at the electrode. Okay, only one of each. At the moment, we've got lots going on here. Only one for each one. So they've got to listen to the rules. You've got to remember the rules. What are the rules? Well, the rules are at the positive electrode then. So the positive electrode, that's this one here, we know that we're going to get negative ions, okay, because negatives and positives attract. We've got to work out which one. Let's have a look. If you've got halide ions, that's group 7, the halogens, if there are any of those about, then those will be given off. They will win the fight. They will be given off at the positive electrode. If there are no group 7s, then oxygen will be given off. So let's have a look at ours. Have we got group 7? Yes, we've got some chlorine. So chlorine wins. If there wasn't a group 7, oxygen would be given off. And here, that's not easy to see. Okay, it's not simple to see any oxygen given off. So you've just got to remember, if there's not a group 7, oxygen's given off. That's it, simple as. Let's have a look at the other electrode. At the negative electrode, we've got positive ions. Okay. A bit of a blank out there. Right, so here let's have a look. Well, we've got this one or this one. Which one is gonna win? Let's have a look. If there is a low reactivity metal, that is given off at the negative electrode. If there is a high reactivity metal, then hydrogen's given off. Let's see what we've got. Now, sodium, that's a high reactivity metal. How did you know that? Well, you'll be given a data sheet. It will tell you. It's a high reactivity metal. That will tell you in the exam. So this one is not given off. Hydrogen is given off. Go back again, remember? If there is a low reactivity metal, that gets given off. But if there is a high reactivity metal, hydrogen is given off. Okay, so here, back here, hydrogen wins. I'll leave that out there. Leaving behind this sodium and this hydroxide, which bond together nicely, forming sodium hydroxide. So in this electrolysis solutions, we've got chlorine given off here, hydrogen given off here, and sodium hydroxide forming in the water. You would be expected to have to write half equations for those, but that's covered in the other YouTube clip about electrolysis and half equations. And that's talking about the chlorine loses an electron off there. The hydrogen gains an electron. If you want to try these ones, gold chloride and potassium bromide, you could switch this off, but the answer here would be chlorine given off here and gold here, because gold is a low reactivity. Actually, I'm going to leave you to work that one yourself.